Good evening and welcome to a very exciting edition of the NewsHour At 10 agenda, viewers, because a month back we wondered Modi versus who? Then the Prime Minister wrote, Ek Modi Sab Pe Bhari. Today the opposition is forging an alliance, calling itself India, an acronym for the Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance. The NDA, on the other hand, held a separate meeting in Delhi, where 38 parties were in attendance. Today we will sift through the political rhetoric and posturing as well, and also get you some hard numbers. Let's first compare and contrast the two alliances as they stand and the 2019 seat share statistics. Now we're going to the NDA, which has in fact 317 seats in the Lok Sabha currently, whereas when we talk about the i.n.d.i.a, altogether the 26 parties have 144 seats. But there's a very interesting story here when you look at the vote share, because there the gap narrows. It is 40.8% as far as vote share, and over here it is 36% as far as the i.n.d.i.a is concerned. So when the seat share is concerned, there is a huge gap, almost double or more than double in fact. But when it comes to the vote share, it's a much narrower contest, at least on paper. Of course, this has a number of implications in terms of what this really means when it comes to votes, because there are so many aspects that have to be considered. But let's get you another interesting graphic. This is about the alliance and the actual meaning of the alliance itself. 11 of the 26 parties in i.n.d.i.a have no MPs in the Lok Sabha currently. Now that is a figure of 42%. Let's look at the corresponding figure for the NDA, which has 38 parties. Now 25 of the 38 parties in the NDA have no MPs, which is at 66%. So those parties will have to perform very well, particularly the ones who don't currently have members in the Lok Sabha. Let's also try and get you a sense of what the alliance means in terms of its national footprint. Where do they stand nationally speaking? And this is the heat map that we're looking at currently. Although, of course, the picture has been distorted to fit this particular screen, it is indicative. This patch of red over here are the states of Telangana, Andhra Pradesh and Odisha, where the parties which are ruling have not officially announced who they are in support of, although we have seen the BJD, the YSRCP at times support the centre when it comes to central legislation. The BRS, or the earlier form of it, the TRS, has time and again taken different positions. Currently, it says it is going to maintain a position of equidistance from both the BJP and the Congress. Will that change over the next 1 year? We don't know. But this is where things stand. These patches are green are where the opposition is currently ruling. Those, of course, are in the north, in the south and in the eastern parts of country. And this is largely major chunk of the Hindi heartland where the BJP has its concentration of power. So this is going to be very important. Some of these states are also headed to the polls in the next few months. So those 5 states and what happens over there could also perhaps influence the outcome of what transpires in 2024 Lok Sabha election. But the Prime Minister had something very interesting to say when he today addressed the NDA gathering. He in fact hit out on the aspect of stability. He in fact talked about how the NDA is in fact an alliance that has brought stability and has improved the image of the country abroad. Whereas he said the other alliances were brought together on the platform of negativity and therefore would not succeed as they have not in the past. That was the allegation of the Prime Minister. Listen in to this hard-hitting positioning taken by the PM.
हमारे देश में राजनीतिक गठबंधनों की एक लंबी परंपरा रही है, लेकिन जो भी गठबंधन नेगेटिविटी के साथ बने वे कभी भी सफल नहीं हो पाए। कांग्रेस ने 90 के दशक में देश में अस्थिरता लाने के लिए गठबंधनों का इस्तेमाल किया। कांग्रेस ने सरकारें बनाई, सरकारें बिगाड़ी। इसी दौर में 1998 में एनडीए का गठन हुआ था। लेकिन एनडीए क्यों बना? क्या तब सिर्फ सरकार बनाना या सत्ता हासिल करना ही एनडीए का लक्ष्य था? आप भी जानते हैं ऐसा नहीं था। एनडीए किसी के विरोध में नहीं बना था। एनडीए किसी को सत्ता से हटाने के लिए नहीं बना था, बल्कि एनडीए का गठन देश में स्थिरता लाने के लिए हुआ था।
This is across to our guest. Joining us with us is RP Singh, national spokesperson of the BJP. Tushar Gupta, senior editor of Swarajya magazine. With us also is Subhrashtra, founder of the Churn. Pooja Gandhi is in fact spokesperson of the DMK. Vivek Sailas is national spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary is the leader of the Congress Party, joining us on the broadcast. We also have with us Riju Datta of the TMC at the moment. Naval Kishore of the RJD also with us on the broadcast. And Kapil Madan, who's a political analyst, also joining us. Let me start first and foremost with, in fact, Pooja Gandhi, spokesperson of the DMK. Mr. Gandhi, one of the primary sort of concerns that has been expressed by the Prime Minister is that of stability. He says that the Congress Party has, in fact, in the 90s, withdrawn support and brought in the spectre of unstable politics for the country. The last 10 years, there has been stability, and that's what people should keep in mind while voting. That's the pitch that he has made at the NDA meeting that took place this evening. Your response to this statement of the Prime Minister?
No, Madhav, I'm not sure. Still, you and other panelists maybe believe in the rhetorics of the Honorable Prime Minister. The Honorable Prime Minister is telling this for a long time. Maybe for the last 10, 15 years, he's telling the same thing. See, today what has happened in Bengaluru is a significant step. 26 political parties, that is also not small parties, all are the political parties which are either ruling in some states or dominant parties in some states have come together in a common platform to oppose BJP and its policies. Whereas the BJP has called for an NDA meeting with 38 political parties, and these 38 political parties are, in fact, we are not even aware that whether they are political parties, because nobody would have even heard about some of the political parties. Like Kerala, I can read out the political party's name, Kerala Kamaraj Congress, or maybe Pudiya Tamilagam, like this. None of these political parties even has any councillors in the municipality, leave alone parliamentarians or even MLA seats. So, which alliance will give stability? Will this alliance of the Prime Minister, who couldn't find even an ally within the country, will this particular bogus alliance will give stability?
But Mr. Gandhi, we just showed graphics. Even within the i.n.d.i.a, there are 11 parties that have not a single member of parliament, sir. The number may be higher when it comes to the NDA, but that logic applies equally to the i.n.d.i.a.
You just see the... No, you just see the remaining parties. You just see the remaining parties. All are dominant parties or ruling parties in states.
Okay.
Whereas, as far as NDA is concerned, except BJP, there are no other ruling party in the state.
RP Singh, please respond to that.
Not even
RP Singh, apart from BJP, there are no other influential parties in the NDA. That's the charge coming in from Mr. Pooja Gandhi of the DMK.
Well, what is forward bloc in the alliance, and what do forward bloc stands in Bengal today? I doubt whether they won even a panchayat election this time. So that's not a question. Question is bigger. The question is that what is this alliance for? I mean, just coming and meeting there, shaking hands, sitting together, holding a press conference. Just recently, O.P. Soni, one of the former deputy CM of the Punjab Congress Party, from the Punjab Congress Party, has been arrested by Aam Aadmi Party. One another Minister Ashu was arrested by Aam Aadmi Party. Just recently, Mr. Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary is probably still on dharna there, where more than 13 Congress workers have been killed. One of the president of the Kerala Congress Party has been arrested by the left parties. So ये स्टेज पे आकर गले मिलने का काम नहीं है सर. नीचे वर्कर खड़ा नहीं होगा आपके साथ. आप कितना मर्जी उपहास उड़ाएंगे. You are trying to mock at your worker. And also, do you remember that Bua Bhatija alliance? Yeah. And everyone said, oh, big alliance. This is a very formidable alliance. Bua Bhatija alliance in Mayawati ji and Akhilesh Yadav ji in UP. And what happened? Because workers didn't go together.
Okay.
They can do what they want to do.
Let's ask this question of Mr. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary. I think that's an important point, because the Prime Minister expressed the ideological conflicts that exist within Kerala, within West Bengal and other states. But let's begin with West Bengal. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, I see many hands going up. I'm going to come to you, gentlemen, in just a minute, because I want Kamru Zaman Chaudhary to respond to that point. He says that it is an alliance of convenience. You can't be fighting each other on ground in the states and then fighting together nationally. That's not going to work. That was one of the primary attacks, because it is not based on any kind of public morality, is the Prime Minister's charge. Kamru Zaman Chaudhary.
Yeah, that's the beauty of the country that we all live in? Isn't it that India is Bharat, a union of states, a multi-party democracy? Or are we proceeding towards that stated objective of the Bharatiya Janata Party for a dictatorial regime where one party reign is there? They have already coined the slogan of the Congress Mukt Bharat. So do you want a opposition Mukt Bharat right now? Why are you so rattled when all the opposition parties, despite the differences, despite the diversity, we are all coming together to save the idea of India? And rightly so, we have named it as India. India, that is Bharat. Now, may I ask one counter question to my learned friend from the BJP out here? When you formed the NDA in 1998, what happened to the alliance with Akali Dal? What happened with Shiv Sena, with the PDP, with the TMC, with the TDP, with the Biju Janata Dal, with the JDU? Now, what alliance that NDA has brought together is a coalition of splinter groups, like the Shinde group, like the Ajit Pawar group, brought together with the fear mongering or the fear of the ED, CBI and the income tax. Now all these brushed netas have suddenly found themselves to be clean politicians in the NDA fold.
Right.
They have accused them of thousands of crores of corruption.
Okay.
Now we have that moral right to question
Okay.
opposition parties.
You've
when
made
we
a number of
question
points
the-
here. You've made a number of points here. Let the BJP spokesperson respond. The NDA and your allies that you have lost over the years, you are just now positioning them together to try and cobble together the fact that you have an alliance ahead of the Lok Sabha elections. That's the charge coming in from Kamruzaman Chaudhary. If you were true to your allies, you would not have lost them in the first place. RP Singh.
We never ditch any of our allies. We never ditch any of our allies like Congress did. They debunked the government, whether Chandrasekhar, Chaudhary Charan Singh. I mean, I remember all these set of period. I.K. Gujral, they went for alliance and they debunked the alliance later on. But it's not issues that again. Who are together? Arvind Kejriwal has two ministers in jail. Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi out on bail. Mamata Banerjee has two ministers in jail. DMK has two ministers are already on the way to jail. So all these people who are corrupt, he was talking about ED and CBI and income tax. Sir, go to court. I never interrupted you, sir. Please.
Mr. Chaudhary, he didn't interrupt you. Let him give him a chance to answer. You asked a question.
Humble request, sir. Sir, I know you got a new alliance like Aam Aadmi Party who are hecklers, but you come from a old party. So let's take it further. So the issue is that all these corrupt have come together for one objective. And then if they have anything against these cases, they can go to courts. They can get them quashed. Rahul Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi has not got the cases quashed. Sodia and Jain has tried their best to get their cases quashed. Nothing is happening. Mamata Banerjee's two ministers have tried their best to get the case quashed. It's not happening. So it's not that they can't accuse ED, CBI for that. So all those who are corrupt,
okay,
and then all those who accept Mr. Kejriwal, all those who follow dynasty, they have come together.
Right. There's another very important point that has been made. You know, in fact, Mr. Kamruzaman Chaudhary, on two occasions specifically, and I'm referring to these specific occasions, in 96 and in 97, the Congress government, in fact, pulled the plug on the Janata Dal government after supporting them from outside. This is what the Prime Minister was referring to. So how do we know, when the Congress has already said that they do not want the Prime Minister's seat, that they do not want to do this for power, that this will not repeat itself again? That's the fear that the Prime Minister has expressed.
A wonderful question, Madhav. You all accuse us of the emergency days. You all accuse us of the pulling the plug behind the governments earlier, which were dismantled. But haven't we lost the elections because of these reasons? The country has decided and we have lost the power because of these simple reasons of emergency and further other issues. Now, the main issue that is before 2024, are we as an opposition from different parts of the country, from different states, come together and block this party who is hell-bent on changing the constitution, changing the nature of the India that we all believed in so long, using the institutions of importance to score brownie political points? Now, don't you think that Shinde group, Ajit Pawar group, and all other corrupt nations who were corrupt leaders who were once accused of corruptions and Parivarvad now suddenly find themselves a clean sheet in the NDA?
Okay. Okay. So the BJP washing machine. This is what they're calling the BJP washing machine, Tushar Gupta. They are saying that you accuse us of being corrupt, but at the same time, leaders are taken and they are completely whitewashed, literally, in the BJP washing machine. Tushar Gupta.
Madhav, I'd like to remind the new alliance that they have Arvind Kejriwal and Lalu Prasad Yadav as the alliance partners. But forget all about that. You know, Madhav, what the average voter on the ground is thinking right now? He's thinking that post-2024, is there a chance that I might get a prime minister from the Congress or one who represents the Congress like Dr. Manmohan Singh did? Am I looking at the probability of Nitish Kumar or Lalu Prasad Yadav as the home minister, two leaders who drove their state to the ground for the last 2 decades? Am I looking at Mamata Banerjee as the defense minister, the chief minister who could not stop illegal immigrants from Bangladesh? Am I looking at Arvind Kejriwal as the minister of road transport and highways, now who as chief minister refuses money for the RRTS project which will run from Delhi to Meerut? Am I looking at DMK minister as the finance minister who have absolutely nothing except freebies to offer? Am I looking at a Khichdi coalition which will do absolutely nothing for my reforms? Because if you have a coalition like this, which is so ideologically different from each other, which is made up of parties which contradict each other on almost every single aspect, you can say goodbye to big reforms, the investors will say goodbye to India, the employment will suffer, the economy will suffer, the socio-economic growth will suffer. What is the average voter then thinking of, Madhav? He's thinking that if you are indeed to challenge Narendra Modi, stop interfering.
Mr. Chaudhary, you have spoken, sir. Let others also have their say.
Stop interfering.
Let us not be intolerant. Please. Let's have a decent debate. There is enough time.
Mr. Chaudhary, keep quiet.
Yeah, 1 second. Tushar, let's all maintain our calm here. There's no need for us to interrupt and outshout each other. Finish your point.
No. Yes. You know what the average voter is asking? That very good you came up with the coalition. We believe in you. Let's give them the benefit of doubt that they indeed want to take on Narendra Modi. Who is going to be the prime ministerial face? Who is going to be that one face which will challenge Narendra Modi for the prime ministerialship? And the problem here is Madhav. Please let me, I did not interrupt you. I would expect
Mr. Chaudhary, what is this business of interrupting others? No one interrupted you, sir. You had your say. Let others speak. Yeah, Tushar.
You know, Madhav, the catch-22 situation is if the opposition does not announce a PM candidate, people will automatically assume it's Rahul Gandhi because the alliance partners are gathering around the Congress.
Okay. Let's give them the benefit of doubt on that point. But I want to come back to the point of ideological differences. And Riju Datta is also with us over here. Riju Datta, now you have a situation where Mamata Banerjee was sitting with Rahul Gandhi and Sonia Gandhi, literally sitting next to them, rubbing shoulder to shoulder. And then you have West Bengal Congress leaders who are actually appealing to the party leaders, don't do that. We can't have a situation where we are engaged virtually in a battle at the local level and we cannot work together. That is a statement that you know it's out there in the public domain. That Congress leaders in West Bengal are saying, how are you going to work together in West Bengal? Please unmute yourself and continue.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, better. Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Thank you. When the Prime Minister from a public state says NCP is the most corrupt party, then Ajit Pawar is rubbing shoulders with the Prime Minister in Ashok Hotel, why blame TMC and the Congress?
Because you're fighting each other, sir. We just addressed the issue of corruption. Please answer the simple question I asked you on working in West Bengal. The issue of corruption is also an important one. That's certainly the subject of a heated fight. How are you going to work with the Congress if Congress is saying that your government is responsible for killing them and their workers?
I will say, see. There are always noise from the sidelines, but the Congress High Command, the Congress leadership, the Trinamool Congress highest leadership, and everybody has come together to protect and safeguard India, its people, its constitution, and the idea and ethos of India. So eventually everybody will come together because the battle is much bigger for one individual person or for one individual state. It is for the India, that is Bharat, our own country. But my relevant questions are these. I have some very pointed questions. And the questions are that when the Pradhan Mantri said from the parliament in the Lok Sabha, "Ek akela sab pe bhari," Why does the BJP have to run from pillar to post and Mr. Bhari needs 38 crutches to barely stand on his feet?
Okay.
I mean, the opposition are getting united. You are also getting united. What is your problem? What is burning to you?
Subrashta,
That is the first
what
question.
happened to
Second
Ek
question.
Akela Sab Pe Bhari? That's a question coming from TMC. Why are you getting nervous? Because opposition is coming together. That's his question. Riju's question to the BJP, and of course you can answer that question as well. Subrashta.
Yeah, thank you, Madhav. So, my basic
So,
point is this.
Yeah, you
the
asked the
fact
question,
that,
sir. Let's get a response. Let's get a response. Subrashta has not spoken yet. Yes.
There were two questions that were repeatedly asked on national television.
Riju-
That if not Modi, who? That got answered today. It is India.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
second
You-
question is, what is the common minimum program?
Okay.
So the common minimum program is
Okay, thank you so much for informing us that. You have asked a question. You have asked a question of what happened to Ek Modi Sab Pe Bhari. Let's get a response, please. Subrashta is the only lady on the panel and she has not yet spoken. Give her a chance to respond.
My only response to Mr. Riju would be that when you are thinking of an opposition alliance, there is no harm in Mr. Modi trying to garner up his own alliance together to show that one single man can attract so many other political parties around him despite ideological challenges that exist. The question that has been posed and that has been constantly skirted around is the fact that these political parties, Aam Aadmi Party and Congress and DMK and the others together, they are so ideologically different that what common minimum program are they talking about? Do we have a blueprint? Do we have a one-pager also? Forget about a blueprint. Do we have a one-pager earmarking what those common minimum programs are? Since I didn't speak on anybody's turn, I expect the same amount of decency and courtesy. Riju, I am not answerable to you. I'm also not going to entertain your nonsense on the program. Please.
No, the problem
I heard you patiently. I have the patience
No, this
to
common
hear
minimum
it.
program is not out there yet. Riju, come on. Let's be serious. Let's be serious.
BJP
Anti-Modiism may be uniting you now, and the Prime Minister also referred to it, and that's fine. You are entitled to your views, but there is no CMP at the moment, so let's not push a point too far, please. Let her make her point.
enough.
You've made your point now. Let's get a response. Let's allow the best of democratic traditions allow a debate.
Madhav,
please.
this is how the opposition is going to treat a simple voter who is asking one pressing question, what's your common minimum program? And is puncturing through the narrative that if the only reason why the opposition is getting together is to remove Modi, then we might as well not have an opposition. There is not one single policy that these guys have come up with. They have met, they have continued to meet for the last couple of weeks. They have not been able to come up with one single policy that can unite the entire country together to say that this is what we are going to do once we come back. Even if you remove Modi, what are you going to do with this country?
Right. Let me bring in Kapil Madan on this point.
The UPA rather was ousted out of power on charges of corruption.
Yes, and in fact, perhaps the unkindest cut to the Prime Minister was when he said that even when we were in opposition, Kapil Madan, he says we never did negative politics. He says that this is an alliance of positivity, unlike the opposition alliance, which he dubs as one of negative politics. He says we oppose scams of the governments, but we never took foreign support. So that's going to be very clearly an issue that the BJP is going to try and hammer again and again. The fact that Mr. Rahul Gandhi said what he did outside of the country.
Thank you, Madhav, for having me on the show. And I would request and I would expect that I will not be interrupted. So I will be making 3 quick points. So
please answer the question I've asked you.
Yes, I'm answering. So our Prime Minister and Subrashta has said, Prime Minister very proudly boasted about his own self when he made a remark, "Ek akela sab pe bhari." So I look at this statement from this perspective, that once you take the entire credit of whatever you've done, I mean, even if you won the election, then you are disrespecting your own cadre. You're disrespecting your own leaders who might have pushed hard, worked hard to make or to produce the results which you are utilizing. Now, my second point is, at the same time, now Subrashta makes a point where there is no problem in having your own support base. So is it not then, whatever the Prime Minister was saying and that self-boasting about Ek Akela Sab Pe Bhari, is it not a farce? Now, my second point, Mr. RP Singh made a point that, in Punjab, one minister, AAP minister has arrested, Congress person, this, that, etc. So to me, what it shows that the matter of corruption, insofar as the opposition parties are concerned, it is not only a public perception and the thing that you talk on in the media. Unlike the BJP, even if the opposition is coming together, they are taking actions where anyone has done wrong. And look at what the BJP has done. Few days ago, Prime Minister Modi was speaking so loudly about corruption, about NCP and Ajit Pawar. Now,
13 Congress people
within few days, within. Mr. Singh, please control your anxiety. I know you're getting anxious. I know you're getting exposed. I know. So you can hold on. You can hold on. Because
what was the MLA from
anxiety exposes
what was the MLA from the Sagadiki?
It's
MLA from the Sagadiki who has been poached by Mamata Banerjee, only sole Congress member.
The point I'm trying to make here
you
is
make
that
a point,
for
but
Mr. Modi,
please answer these questions
the
also.
issue of corruption is only a jumla that is to be, spoken during the political speeches and during the TV debates, because you apparently don't have any policy. Now, I will give another point of view to
Sir, you can label them all jumlas. You've still not answered the question I started off with. You've still not answered the question I started off with, Kapil Madan. I asked you a simple question of Rahul Gandhi's comments on foreign oil, which the Prime Minister says that's something the BJP never did.
Madhav, 30 more seconds. Now,
20 seconds, finish your point, please.
30, yes. So, when Mr. Prime Minister Modi talked about the corruption, Mr. Praful Patel was facing allegation that he's having some money laundering with allow me to complete. Now, if you are joining hands with, the same people, I will draw only two conclusions. A, that your cases were false. You inflict false cases on the opposition.
No answers coming in on democracy from you, Kapil Madan, today. I'm taking these complaints of democracy on foreign soil. No complaints. No. All right. I think Tushar wants to respond to you on that point. Yes, Tushar.
Madhav, I need to make a few points.
Yeah.
Madhav, to Riju Datta, who says Ek Akela Sab Par Bhari. Today, of all the parties in the mix, only BJP is the one that can win more than 272 seats on its own. Even Mamata Banerjee, in the best case scenario, cannot win more than 40 seats. Talking about Kapil Madan, he made a point about the cadre, that you take the credit away from the cadre. Now, Kapil is one of the brightest Congress spokespersons here. In the Panchayat polls of West Bengal, a Congress worker died. Unfortunately died, and today the same Congress leadership is allying with the TMC. So my question to Kapil, who cares about the cadre, is how do you justify this to the family of that party worker that today we are going to ally with the TMC? Riju Datta claims it as a greater fight, but what will the Congress claim it as? Number 3, there is a lot of talk about the corruption charges and everything. Kapil, in Delhi, when Manish Sisodia was arrested and when the Sheesh Mahal expose happened by Times Now, the Congress questioned Arvind Kejriwal. Today, you cannot sit here conveniently putting together an alliance and say that all those corruption charges are jumla when you yourself have spoken against the liquor policy scam.
Respond, Kapil Madan. You may be together on ordinance, but when it comes to corruption, you yourself have exposed. Congress is the complainant.
Yes, I think Tushar has made very, very pertinent points, and allow me to respond. I just started my opening remark, and I made a mention when Mr. RP Singh talked about the fact that despite the fact that the opposition parties are coming together, they are taking action. AAP has arrested one person from the Congress. So that does not take away your larger issue. Of course, a wrong will be a wrong. And
so how will you share seats in Punjab and Delhi, sir? Please explain to us.
Now, just because, two parties are together, that does not mean that you will not call spade a spade. If there is an issue, if there is any confrontation on any particular issue,
but
then
this is the contradiction that the BJP is talking about. This is exactly the contradiction that BJP is talking about. Now, I want to ask Naval Kishore a simple question. I'm coming to you, Riju Datta. I want to ask Naval Kishore a simple question. Naval Kishore, the Prime Minister specifically said that this is an alliance of the Majboor versus an alliance of the Majboot. Is that going to set the narrative for 2024?
No, the past 8 or 9 or 10 years, it is in a 10th year of the power. And what Modi Sarkar or Modi government has done, it has shown that how weak they are. The moment united opposition comes into force, they start with all their agencies. They do not like to be questioned on any issues. And the question against Prime Minister or the question against the party is question against the country. That is what they want to show. So the problem is that the Modi, who is portraying himself as the strongest leader in the country, he has been defeated in the state government more than 15 times. Twice in Delhi, twice in Bengal, once in Bihar, Jharkhand, Odisha. You go, you name so many states, he has been defeated. And then also you believe that he has power to win. He has won only 2 elections at the national level, and you are making that he's an international.
But we are ultimately talking about a Lok Sabha election, isn't it, sir? The Lok Sabha 2024 is why you have formed today's alliance. So if Modi has an advantage in the last 2 elections, certainly that will be a factor that many will ask. Whether that charisma exists or not, I don't know. But certainly in 2 elections, it appears to have worked.
Well, that is true. But in first past the post system, you have seen that in 1971, Indira Gandhi had a huge majority. By 1977, she lost. So, so was the case.
Okay, history is witness. History is witness to Rashtra to the fact that this charisma need not last. Indira Gandhi, who's amongst the tallest of PMs, Mr. Naval Kishore says, has also lost an election in 77. So it may just happen again, is what his conjecture is, or his argument is, if I can put it that way.
It happened in 2004.
Yeah.
It happened.
Then Madhav, why are they getting, if they believe in history so much, if they believe in the organic loss of a leader's face, then why are they getting so panicky, and why are they meeting every other weekend to make an alliance against him? They might as well leave everything. Like नवल किशोर जी, जब आप बोल रहे थे मैं कुछ नहीं बोल रही थी, अब आप सुनने का पेशेंस रखिए. Yesterday, Nitish Kumar and Lalu Prasad Yadav's party were fighting like cats and dogs. Today, Nitish Kumar is not the Chief Minister of Bihar. He's the de facto Chief Minister of Bihar is Tejasvi Yadav. छोटे-छोटे क्वेश्चंस तो सध नहीं पा रही हैं आपसे. आप नेशनल पॉलिटिक्स की बात करते हैं. लालू प्रसाद यादव जी मिनिस्टर बनेंगे कि नीतीश कुमार जी मिनिस्टर बनेंगे कि तेजस्वी यादव मिनिस्टर बनेंगे, ये तो क्लैरिटी आपको है नहीं. आप यहाँ बैठ करके आप मिस्टर मोदी के ब्रांड वैल्यू पे आप बात कर रहे हैं.
आपकी समस्या है कि जिस कुर्सी पे बैठे हैं और इनएफिशिएंट साबित हुए, उस कुर्सी को छोड़िए, और जनता आपको बोल रही है छोड़ने के लिए. फॉरगेट हु विल बिकम द प्राइम मिनिस्टर. नोबडी.
जनता वोट देके जवाब दे देगी.
जनता बोल रही है भाई साहब.
नहीं, you are entitled to your perception, sir. You are entitled to perception.
आपके पास वही परेशानी का कारण है.
Are you hallucinating?
2004 में.
Incidentally, the Prime Minister referred to poverty alleviation figures of the NITI Aayog, and he actually said that the percentage of poor has fallen from 24.85 in 2015-16 to 14.96 in 2019-21. This is, and you're saying that this is an example of poor governance, Mr. Naval Kishore. The Prime Minister says otherwise. All right, we have some breaking news coming in. Let's quickly bring in this breaking news that is in fact coming in from our reporters who've been covering the NDA meeting. They're saying that as far as the NDA allies are concerned, they've shown faith in the leadership of PM Modi for 2024 elections. No discussion on any seat sharing has taken place. No seat sharing or state-wise alliance has been decided yet. All alliance partners have shown confidence in leadership of PM Modi. All allies will work together and reach out to on ground and tell them about the pro-poor schemes in the run-up to elections. Let's quickly go across to Mohit Bhatt for more on this. Mohit, quickly take us through what exactly are sources in the NDA meeting telling you. Mohit. Mohit Bhatt, what are your sources in the NDA meeting telling you? What was discussed there? I don't think we have Mohit with us. We'll try and reconnect with Mohit shortly. If Mohit is with us and if he can hear us, in fact, request him to speak. Yeah.
Of Ashoka Hotel, and the leaders are slowly and steadily come out. Now, what we are getting to know from all these leaders of the well, yes, Madhav. What the sources within who were present at the meeting, they basically say that today nothing has been discussed on. Yes, sir. Well.
All right, I think we have a problem connecting there with Mohit. We'll try and connect with our other reporters as well, but no decision being taken. Very significant, because clearly this is more of, what are we to make of this, Mr. R.P. Singh? So what was the meeting essentially for is a question. No decision on the seat sharing, etc. Of course, not that the i.n.d.i.a alliance is any different. Even they are yet to come across and decide on various finer modalities. But at the moment, whether it's seat sharing, whether it's campaigning, nothing that has been really decided at today's meeting. Was it just a first preliminary meeting, R.P. Singh?
Well, Madhav, this was the 25 years of the NDA, and this was celebration, and all parties coming together for the 25 years of the NDA coming together. But I have a question to ask to Congress spokesperson. Haji Niakat Ali was the worker from Nawada in West Bengal Panchayat election. I just was digging out the names. They're a big list, but this I'm taking one name. He was killed by TMC workers. You will have to face that worker also, their family also. And it's not only one. So you answered everything else, but you didn't answer about the killings in Bengal. So as I said earlier also, Bua Bhatija ne alliance kiya, but we all know the outcome of the alliance. The arithmetic or the calculation doesn't work. It's a chemistry which works, and chemistry only doesn't work between the leaders. It has to work between the cadre also.
Okay.
And the ideology of the
let Mr. Chaudhary respond to that. I think it's a very important point, sir. When Congress workers are killed, the Prime Minister is saying here is a party that does not even stand up for its workers who are standing on ground getting killed. And that reflects very poorly on the party, is what the Prime Minister just said. You must have heard him. And R.P. Singh is echoing that.
Madhav, you have to go back in history when thousands of Congress workers were killed during the CPM regime. But still then, for the greater good, we allied with them in 2016. We allied with them in 2021 also, for a better good for the people of Bengal. Now the situation in Bengal is that, of course, the wounds that are there, that are inflicted on us by the TMC cadres and leaders out here in Bengal will take time to heal. No doubt about it. But if these wounds will heal, if the nation exists, that is the bigger question. We are on the process of seeing such chief minister like the bigoted Hemanta Biswa Sharma, who is on the verge of declaring Assam as a majoritarian state. He doesn't want any other communities in the state.
Well,
he says
there will be response from the BJP to that as well. In fact, Hemanta Biswa Sharma has in fact set the stage for this next aspect that we are going to be debating, because as far as the poll battle for 2024 is concerned, the lines are drawn. With the 26 opposition parties meeting today and talking about the roadmap for next year's general elections, they've chosen to name themselves i.n.d.i.a, where I stands for Indian, N for National, D for Development, I for Inclusive, and A for Alliance. In the joint statement, they say it's an alliance to save democracy and constitution, which is under attack by the ruling dispensation. Even Rahul Gandhi said that it's to fight and defend the idea of India. Listen in.
And we realize the fight is not between two political formations. The fight is a fight to defend the idea of India. And that is why we came up with the name Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, which also happens to stand for India. You can look at our history and you will see that nobody has been able to fight the idea of India. So I don't need to go into who is going to win this fight. This is a fight between the idea of India and the idea of the BJP. This is a fight between India and the BJP. It is a fight between India and Mr. Narendra Modi.
BJP has torn into the opposition camp for making it an India versus Bharat fight. Hemanta Biswa Sharma, Assam Chief Minister, took to Twitter saying the name India reflects colonial legacy which we must free ourselves from. He's asserted that BJP is for Bharat and will continue to work for Bharat. Several other leaders, including Mahesh Jethmalani, have said that this is a statement that reeks of colonialism. Let's quickly listen into the reactions coming in from BJP as well.
हम लोगों को लगता है कि शायद उनको कन्वेनर नहीं बनाया गया, जिसकी बहुत उम्मीद लगाए बैठे थे, या उनको प्रोजेक्ट नहीं किया जा रहा है। इन्हीं कारणों से पहले लौट के चले आए। पिछले बार अरविंद केजरीवाल प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस का बहिष्कार करके चले आए थे। इस बार नीतीश कुमार, लालू प्रसाद और उनके साथ जो लोग थे वो लोग चले आए। अभी चार्टर फ्लाइट थी, 2 घंटे बाद भी आ सकते थे। इसमें ऐसी कौन सी बात थी? तो ये तो देखिए, जो विपक्षी एकता ये करे इंडिया, तो देखिए इंडिया की लड़ाई भारत से होगी।
In fact, to our guest joining us, Vivek Sailas is with us. Vivek Sailas, is this going to be an India versus Bharat fight in 2024?
Yes, good evening, Madhav, and thank you for giving me time. Actually, I can just say कि India and Bharat are one. किसी तरह भी आप उसको देख लें. Why the Bharatiya Janata Party and
BJP doesn't think so.
Talks about digital
BJP
India,
doesn't think so. Himanta
make
Biswa
in
Sharma
India,
says BJP is for
state-
Bharat
नहीं.
and that India is a colonial term which is a contribution to the British. This is what they've said on record.
That is what I am saying. Why does the Honorable Prime Minister talk about digital India, make in India, stand up India, India shining, developing India? Why do we talk about Indian cricket team, Indian hockey team? Actually, India is Bharat. There is no controversy about it. And I was just listening very carefully to your debate for the last more than half an hour. So, are we looking for a government, as one of the panelists said? I am asking a question. Are we looking for a government who couldn't fulfill its promises? They promised 2 crore jobs every year. They couldn't fulfill it. They promised that the inflation will come down. Today, people are buying tomatoes for 200 rupees a kg, adrak and ginger for 300 rupees a kg. Even chilies are more than 150 rupees a kg. Say anything. Talk about dals, talk about pulses, anything. Any commodity. Talk about vegetable oils. It's all shooting up like hell. And what Modi ji promised? That inflation will come down, dollar will come down, petrol will come down. People of Delhi are buying petrol for more than 100
We're
rupees a
shifting
litre.
focus to inflation, sir.
That is not what the... and I just want to talk... Madhav, let me finish. Let me
quickly
finish.
make your points.
Let me
limited
finish,
time. Quickly.
Madhav. I just need 30 seconds more.
India versus Bharat.
We are talking about...
Is it going to become India versus Bharat, Mr. Sellers?
He talked about the NDA.
Has it already become India versus Bharat?
Yes, the Prime Minister also talked about... The Prime Minister also talked about the NDA. Who were the founders of NDA? It was the Bharatiya Janata Party, it was Nitish Kumar, it was the Akali Dal, it was the Shiv Sena. Where are the other three? Where have they lost? It's only the Bharatiya Janata Party left with these 33.
Okay, we've come back full circle. We've come back full circle. To the debate with that particular point. I want RP Singh to come back to it. RP Singh, you have Vivek Sellers who says India and Bharat are the same. You are unnecessarily creating divisions.
Well, India, as per Rahul Gandhi, is Union of States, which was formed in 1947. Bharat is Sanatan. Bharat is, which is traditional as a subject and idea. But they are the one who went and opposed the very existence of Lord Rama.
You don't believe in India?
Sir, I never interrupted you, Mr. Sir. So they went and challenged the existence of Lord Rama. So who believes in Bharat? I mean, this shows how much they believe in Bharat. And then also, when Mr. Rahul Gandhi goes and claims outside that we are just Union of States like European Union,
Mr. Sellers, you asked, I'm giving you a chance to let him respond to you.
He says India is Union of States.
You have spoken, sir. Let him respond. Yeah. RP Singh, continue.
So, भारत हमारा सांस्कृतिक देश है, भारत हमारा सांस्कृतिक देश है, सनातनी देश है और इंडिया 1947 की देन है. और जो बार बार राहुल गांधी विदेश जाकर कहते हैं कि इंडिया इज यूनियन ऑफ स्टेट्स लाइक यूरोपियन यूनियंस, आई मीन द यूनियन ऑफ यूरोपियन स्टेट्स. So, and same is being said by Mr. Amrit Singh here, Khalistani. He said India is...
Many hands going up. Many hands going up in response to you. Yeah, Riju Datta wants to respond to you as well. Riju Datta.
My humble submission is, if now you, just to protect your backside, you have to say India versus Bharat, then why did the government of India
Let's be a little careful of our language on national television, please. Riju Datta, may I request you and other panelists?
I have not used the unparliamentary word.
Yeah, no, but you used a word and a phrase which is, I would say the phrase is unparliamentary. Yes.
And I want to say, when the government of India openly, they browbeated everybody and said Digital India, Khelo India, tab kya hua? Tab yaad nahi aaya tha Bharat ke baad. And you talked about Prabhu Ram and Lord Ram. So Lord Ram, you brought Lord Ram into politics in West Bengal elections. What happened? Lord Ram rejected you. Lord Hanuman rejected you in Karnataka. So how long will you try to, hide your inadequacies, your incompetence behind our gods and goddesses and Sanatan Dharma? और आपको अगर इंडिया पसंद नहीं है पाकिस्तान चले जाइए, कोई दिक्कत नहीं.
No, let's not get on that. Please, let's little bit of decorum, please. Little bit of decorum. There's no need to get on hit so below the belt. RP Singh, the point that he's making is that this cover of Sanatan Dharma is taken by the BJP, but it has not worked electorally in the past. This is what he is saying. Please respond to his charge.
And it's fact.
Sir, I have only one line to say to Riju Datta and Mamta Didi, Jai Shri Ram. And I'm hopeful. I'm in Delhi, I'm not in Calcutta, otherwise I would have been arrested by now.
Why are you against women? Include Ma Sita also.
Okay.
I said Jai Shri Ram. Sir, you are hard of hearing. And when you say Jai Shri Ram, incorporate Sia also.
All right. Perhaps signs that this is going to be a very important debate. But the DMK spokesperson also wants to come in. Yes, Mr. Gandhi.
No, how this debate of India versus Bharat is coming here, I am not able to understand that. Whether it is India or Bharat, the constitution very clearly says India, that is Bharat, is a union of states. It is formed only after 1947. Whether Lord Ram lived 2000 years before or 7000 years is a mythical question. We cannot run a democracy on the basis of a mythical question. That may be the point with respect to BJP, but that is not the point with respect to the rest of the country.
Okay, Tushar Gupta, you want to respond to that? Tushar Gupta.
See, Madhav, two, three things. There is a point about inflation being made. Now, the person, Vivek Silas, who made that point, should understand that tomatoes do not indicate inflation, but he wants to talk about inflation. It was 12.2% when the UPA left this country, when they stopped governing this country. Number two, Riju Datta, using the most unparliamentary language, needs to understand that if the BJP was rejected in Bengal and Karnataka, Mamta Banerjee has been rejected everywhere outside Bengal. So today the new coalition might be happy about getting her on board, but apart from West Bengal, in every other state and union territory, your leader is going to be a liability on the coalition.
Okay.
Because she will be repelling the votes that might come to the Congress otherwise.
All right. Is it going to be India versus Bharat? That's certainly a big question at the moment, because judging by the rhetoric that we've seen this evening, that is a very distinct possibility. Running up to 2024, where the BJP is spoken about, a cultural legacy, history, so on and so forth. Does this mean this will acquire more importance in coming months? We'll have to leave it over there. I'd like to thank all the ladies and gentlemen for joining us. RP Singh, Tushar Gupta, Subrashta, Mr. Poor Gandhi, Vivek Silas, Kamru Zaman Chaudhary, Kapil Madan, Nabil Kishore and Dr. Riju Datta. Thanks so much for joining us.